you group data like this is to make your life easier.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is it saves you from having to write, you know, a data point a ridiculous number of times when you can just deal with L2 and the counts. So,
Thank you for trying to confuse me.
I'm not trying to confuse you.
I was confused
Sometimes it
myself.
happens inadvertently.
I'm just being sarcastic.
I know.
Let's get this down. The reason I'm studying this, and I'm not sure this is the best way to study it was, I've often been told by folks that runners get better as they get older. So,
To a point.
well, exactly. So I went top and bottom, which is probably the wrong thing to do. Getting the very top and the very bottom. Maybe I should have done more of a just the top and analyze just the top, a longer range of the top. But anyway, I used to be a distance runner, and I noticed that I always got injured. That's mostly poor training and using the wrong book. Galloway's Book of Running. Love you, Jeff, but stop telling people you eat 95% carbohydrates. I was brown rice, eat it all the time. Okay. And then the next thing I got a heel spur. So anyway, correlation doesn't imply causation. But the point is that I wanted to see if there was any kind of indicator that showed ages were spread differently across the top and the bottom. I'm not sure this is the right way to look at it, but in worst case scenario, we get a good way of measuring spread across the data set, so it makes me happy. So what I want to do first is I want to look at the data of the top, of the numbers in the top. So I want to see the age spread of those in the top, if that makes sense. So let's turn a plot on. Let's turn a plot on. Second y equals. Plot 1. Turn that bad boy on. And we're going to use a histogram. Now we did this last time, and it's been a week since we did this, so it might not come back to you as horribly you remember it very, very well. So plot 1, second y equals, turn plot 1 on, grab a histogram, that guy right there.
But if it's already highlighted.
It probably is if you didn't use your TI at all. Yeah, you might even be set up ready to go. The difference, I'm guessing, is your X list probably says L1, and your freak, I'm guessing, says 1. You want to change that to L2, because now those frequency counts are actually in L2, aren't they? Yeah, so second 2, yes ma'am. So you go down there and press second 2. When you have raw data, like we did on Thursday of last week, you put a 1 in there. So anytime you have raw data, just a string of data, you're going to put a number 1 in frequency. And that means count all the data one time. When you have a distribution like we do right now, you want to make sure the frequency list tells where the frequencies are. In that case, we put them in L2. That's why I asked the question earlier, where is your data? The data, I don't know why they don't call this data, they call it X list, but your data is in L1. Go, Linda.
What if you forget to change that L2 to 1 when you've got data in 1? Will it mess up your data?
It probably, or best case scenario, it'll give you an error, because if your L2 is empty and you try to graph something with the L2, it'll give you a dim mismatch, and then you'll be like, oh crap, you go back and look and then catch the error. But yeah, you want to try to pay attention to that, and we'll see how to pay attention to it very, very quickly here momentarily. Please.
Is frequency the same as Y list?
No, you're in scatter plot. So check, when you go to second, if you're on, select. If you've selected scatter plot, it's going to ask for a Y list.
Okay.
Scooch over to histogram, which is this little guy over here. And that'll change it up for you. Although a Y list is probably set to L2 as well, I would imagine. By default, I think it's set to L2. But you would get, that's where we're getting back to Pat's question about gender versus age. 2 different X's and Y's. Cool? Let's take a look at it. Remember the quick shortcut for getting a quick graph? It's okay, it's been a week.
Graph?
120, well, if you're in the right window, if you press graph, the problem is that's what I was doing at 105. That's my speed on my bike from 105. So I'm going to clear that out of there actually. Zoom! You remember what to zoom? Zoom 9. Zoom 9 is your buddy. Zoom 9 is your buddy. Please.
How do you get the list 2?
Oh, second 2. So you're down there, press the second button, and then the number 2. See, it's right above the button right there, L2. Yep, there you go. And there's our data, look at that! You like it? I think it's gorgeous. What error did it give you? Dim mismatch? Same, that's what I was talking about with Linda. So, did you have L1 and L2 on your, do you have the same number of data points? Go back and count your data and make sure you have the same number in L1 as L2. Guarantee there's the problem, Cassie. If it's not, we'll fix it. Go so far? Now what I'd like to do next is, and this is something TI kind of sucks at, it just does, I want to put the other distribution of ages alongside this one and compare them. So I want to have the bottom finishers graphed as well, and I want to look at both at the same time and see if there's a difference. Now, the reason, let me show you why you're not going to put another histogram up. I'll do this real quick and then we'll go back and do it more slowly. Okay. So if you do another histogram, oops, I'm going to turn it on too. Okay, that's why you don't do another histogram. It plops it right on top and it gets hard to tell which one is which. Excel doesn't have this problem. Excel allows you to put them front to back, side by side, different colors. In the 1982 Pac-Man version of TI that we have graphically, we have to adjust for that. So everybody do this. Second y equals, second y equals, plot 2, turn her on, turn her on, but instead of selecting the histogram, which is this one, grab the one directly left of it, which is called a line graph. What it is it's a histogram, but it's a different form of it. Instead of having bars at each high point, it draws a little line up to the high point. So you can actually see it against the histogram. You'll see a second graph that actually stands out. X list and Y list are going to be L1 and L3. It's actually calling it Y list and not frequency now, which is kind of annoying.
Mine says L.
Then change it, because you just change it L1, L3.
So would it be second 3 then?
Second 3. All your lists are second and then whatever number you need.
Oh.
We might need up to 4 or 5 eventually in here. We'll see how things go. And then you can pick a mark. The mark will just put it'll put a little thing at the top of each of the bars, which in this case are triangles. And then if you press graph, there it is. So you can see both data sets now in slightly different ways. So the histogram is the top finishers. The line graph is the bottom finishers. And you can finagle with the window if you want to, although this window's fine. I'm totally happy with it. Fair enough? Everybody getting some success on this? So, I'm giving you, zoom 9, my friend. Hit zoom 9, I bet you it works. Boom! Yeah, zoom 9 is your friend. Zoom 9 is a very, very, very handy shortcut. It goes right to your data. And now, the thing was, after I ran zoom 9 the first time, I just pressed graph the second time because I knew the data was going to be close to the previous one. You can always press zoom 9 again. The window's going to change a smidge depending on if you hit graph or zoom 9. But that gets you right to your data. And then you can finagle once you're there. But there's really no need for this one, I think. Because what's the real reason I drew the histogram? Why did I draw the histogram and the line graph? Why was I really interested? I want to stop and start this.